This is the kitchen podcast. And no, this is not your normal kitchen. This is where we cook and serve solutions to the elements of the Kenyan hospitality industry. Racism. We are talking about racism in Mombasa. Does racism exist in Mombasa? Yes, it does exist because customers are always right. And customers are coming to our inboxes. Customers are commenting on the online space about being racially profiled in Mombasa. They're thinking that, it's because I'm black, that is why I'm not getting good service in the Kenyan hotels in Mombasa. And is that true? Well, you tell me. But we went ahead and did our own research. That could be true. Customer opinion can ruin your reputation. Customer opinion is very important. What a customer feels should always be the center of your concern. What a customer says about your business should always be of great concern to you and to your business. And that is what we're asking tonight. Does racism exist? Now listen to some of the comments that we have sampled. Isn't this a big problem at the hotels in the coast? And God forbid you are a lady walking into those hotels alone. They assume that you're a prostitute going to pick up their white clients. Oh God, that is so big. If any of your establishments or if any of the establishments in Mombasa has been mentioned in this light, this is very alarming. This is very bad. Now, customer experience is very, very, very important to any ecosystem in the larger hospitality industry in Kenya. We should all be working to make sure that, everything is up to standard, the same level of service to any client working in your hotel in any place in Kenya. Now, listen to the second comment. It is sad that we get to experience xenocentrism in our own country, xenophobia in other countries, and racism overseas. Wow. This sums it all. That they don't experience it here at home, but they experience that other, like for example in South Africa, and racism in other countries, like for example in America. This is now an overall observation of the black race on earth. My oh my. Now let's listen to another comment. I see this as meta slavery. Believing white skin is better so that whenever we have a chance, we overlook our own to gain their favors. A truly terrible and sad thing if you really think. And they go ahead and say it. There is no policy against this. Even the staff goes ahead and do it. Who are the staff? The hoteliers, this hotel animator, the servers, and everybody. So we went ahead and did more research. Mombasa is largely a tourist destination. That is their main economic activity. There are so many hotels in Mombasa. And history tells us that tourism in Kenya starts in the 1900s. But it's more pronounced in the 1960s. This is just after independence. It faces some decline in the 1990s, but it starts to rise in the 2000s. And in the 2010s, it gets modern tourism. Alongside that, they get what we call domestic tourism. Now, people who are visiting Kenya as tourists from the 1900s to the 2000s are largely white people. Now, our research tells us that staffers in Mombasa, waiters, hotel animators, security guards, housekeepers, and everybody who works in that ecosystem get to learn dominated service system. And we strongly feel that they still have a hang over it. And it's not going away. And this is not good for our clients. It's not good for any person who is going to visit Mombasa to enjoy themselves. They have made money, they want to enjoy, they go to Mombasa and they face this. This thing is there. We are not making it up. It has been a big thing in America. And now Kenyans are coming up and saying that we are getting very bad experience when we go down to Mombasa to enjoy our hard-earned money we have looked for the whole year. We cannot get a good service. We sit in the same hotels as white people and we get discriminated upon. They get quick service. Everything is sorted for them. Now, we have been getting comments from Kenyans, and most of them are of the opinion that it is because it is assumed that Kenyans don't do what? Don't tip. Now, while this tourism is coming to Kenya, leisure vacationing and what have you, these people have come with their own culture. And we are very aware to the fact that tipping, for example, is a culture that they come with. Tipping in their own country is something normal. It's an expectation. You're expected to tip a waiter whenever you go out to eat. We have also found out that why is tipping a culture? Being a waiter in America attracts a low salary. And because of their culture, they kind of assimilate tipping so that to compensate for the gap. Now, that is not here in Kenya. First, vacationing was not our culture. Going for leisure trips was not our culture. We start going for leisure trips and vacations in the 2010s. That is when your normal Kenyans start getting some. So now they start going to vacations. And which is the best place to go? Mombasa. And when they get to Mombasa, they get segregated or discriminated upon. And they are not liking this. They are complaining. And we look at the terrain and we see that there's nobody who is talking about it. We are here in the ecosystem trying to serve these clients, domestic tourists also going to these destinations. And we are discovering that they're not getting the service that they are imagining of. And we are wondering who then again speaks about this. Who is addressing this? That was the inception of this kitchen podcast. We saw it better to speak about these things so that we can sensitize us, all of us, about what's going on, so that we can encode and decode and see, is it really racism or Kenyans don't understand what we call vacationing? Is it really racism or Kenyans are not creating their own spaces where they can go to vacation? Kenyans are not creating their own culture around vacationing. Is that the big question tonight? Because at the end of the day, you have to get a good experience. You have saved money, you want to go for a vacation, you cannot afford to come back sad. You cannot afford to come back home disappointed by service at those restaurants. It's not cheap. You can imagine paying for up to 100,000. That is not small money. Just for leisure, just to rest for 2 days, just to get that feeling, just to get the experience, to enjoy yourself, to socialize with other people, to see the world. And you get to Mombasa and you get treated wrongly. The big question then again tonight remains, who is to answer? Are they the waiters? Are they the hotel owners? Or is it Kenyans? All of us are to answer. And I will start with Kenyans. Are we ready for vacations? Are we ready for leisure? Is this part of our culture? Are we adopting a foreign culture? Because as it were, Kenyans were only going to Mombasa for business, for work, okay? Or just traveling, passing by. And I know people used to maybe have sleepovers, like to a guest house. But this one is very different. You are purposely going for vacationing, for leisure. You're not going for business, you're not going for anything else, but you're going for leisure. And what does leisure mean? You go, you get accommodation in a cozy hotel, you get to fine dine, you get to eat good food, or at luxurious food. You get luxurious services, room services. The level of services is quite different from going to a guest house. You have your breakfast, you have your lunch, you have your dinners, you have your drinks in between. You have activities around, leisure activities around the hotel. You have like swimming. In guest houses, they don't have swimming. So that is what sets it apart from your normal traveling arrangements. I'm traveling to Mombasa to see a friend and I will sleep over, but I prefer to sleep over in a guest house and come back the following day. That is bed and breakfast. Quick, fast in, quick in, quick out. But here you're going to stay for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And you want this to be memorable. You want to enjoy yourself. You have purposely gone there and it's not for work. It's not for anything but to relax and to rejuvenate, to recharge. And when you get to Mombasa, you get a bad service. And this irritates you. And then we are asking you, did you do research? Is this your culture as a Kenyan? Why are you getting frustrated? Why Have you stopped and asked yourself that I'm getting frustrated because of A, B, C, D? And we found out that this is not our culture in the first place. Leisure, resting for leisure, taking a break from work to go for leisure. That is how they define vacations and holidays. Taking a break from your business and saying, I'm going to rest, I'm going to recharge, I'm going to relax my mind, I'm going to enjoy my money, I'm going to enjoy myself. And how do I do it? I'll go to a beach resort, a beach hotel and spa. And when I get there, I know I'm going to relax. But you get there and things are different. You get there and you meet many people from all walks of life. You get many people from all over the world. They are doing their thing. This has not been a thing in Kenya for long. So we are asking, should Kenyans start appreciating that this is a new culture? They start learning. And the other second question is that should hotel owners and restaurant staff like waiters, receptionists, hotel animators, housekeeping, should they start embracing this new crop of Kenyans who are going to Mombasa to relax, to assimilate them into the culture of leisure, the culture of vacationing, to tell them that it's done this way, it's not done that way, this is how you eat this food. Okay? Is it ignorance from hotels and beach resorts in Mombasa not to bring or integrate the Kenyan culture into the vacationing structures? Like, for example, the food culture. Okay? Like, what we came to learn is that most waiters might, we are not saying they have an attitude towards Kenyans because the culture around vacationing is more of give and take, of course, yes. But how do we serve these people? And what is the appreciation? They get appreciated. And remember we mentioned about the low wage, the low salaries. They get appreciated by these people. They get tipped because they get low salaries. And these people understand that you should tip these people who are serving you while you're having your leisure. You are blessed in the society to have a little bit of more money than they do. So what you do is you give them something small to top it up, for their salaries. And we don't do that. And the other thing that we came to realize is that the food culture is very strange. Now you go as a Kenyan, waste time with a waiter who has 2 minutes to pick whatever you want from you and go and give you your food. You want to waste most of your time. And they have targets to meet. And you do not understand this. So who do we blame here? We blame nobody. We blame the fact that we have never sat down and had a very serious conversation around this. And this is what we want to do. And we want to go to the comment section and write at least what you think you should do to improve service as a waiter, as a patron, as a vacation goer. What can you do to improve your experience in Mombasa? Because that's a lot of money you're wasting. That is bad experience. That is bad reputation for these hotels. Should we just keep quiet and rant online without looking for solutions? And that is what we want to look for. As a travel agent that is responsible for good customer experience, we do not want it to just pass by. No, we want to sit down and say, hey, you know what? Understand this. This happens because of this. So what we should do, this is the solutions. Start learning this culture. If it is tipping, start tipping more. If it is understanding the food, start understanding the food. If the hotels have to incorporate our culture into the food culture of high-end restaurants and hotel and spa, let them start doing that. And that is what we are saying. Because we cannot just speak and do nothing about it. And that is the inception. That is the reason behind the inception of this beautiful, beautiful podcast. And what we want you to do is subscribe so that this information can reach so many people. What we want you to do is like. What we want you to do is share. Share to as many people as possible. What we want you to do is to comment and give solutions. We want to be the people who are talking about it so that Kenyans can start learning a thing or two about going to holidays and enjoying holidays, because you want to go there and enjoy. So until next time, I want you to sit down and go to my TikTok pages. Leave your feedback, leave your comments, anything that you think you want to be incorporated in this larger ecosystem of tourism, domestic tourism to be specific. I'm your boy Steve. I help you go to destinations where you're valued, where your money is valued, and where you get a good service. Subscribe, comment, and share this. Let's talk as Kenyans.